What's going on, everybody? It's Sasha, your licensed real estate market expert here in Charlotte, and we have a lot to talk about today. So, even though it's November, all the numbers we go over are going to be from the month of October, and new listings are up year over year. Pending sales essentially skyrocketed year over year at over 23%. And everybody always asks me, Sasha, what's going on with the real estate market? When is the market going to crash? Is it going to crash? What's going to happen? Listen, if you're somebody out there looking for all of Charlotte and the surrounding counties, if you're looking for all across the board a 15, 20 plus percent decline, buckle up. It's going to be a very long time before we see something like that. Real estate is very hyper local. You need to look at certain areas, neighborhoods, the actual subdivisions to see really what's going on. You can't really take a general sense of the entire market. Even the stats that we go over and things like that, you can't just say, oh, days on market is 41. That means all the houses are going to sit on the market. Everything is very hyper local. What we're seeing right now, again, just like it has been for the last couple of years, it's very interesting. But to be honest with you, I do not see that kind of major, quote unquote crash of 15, 20 plus percent happening. It's going to be a very long time. During 2008, when, we had the Great Recession and the housing market crash, we had essentially 33 plus months of month over month increases in new listings. That's why the inventory essentially got to 15 months of inventory, and buyers had all of the options in the world. The prices were coming down and things like that. We are very far from that. Now, granted, what we had in 2020, 2021, when our inventory was zero point 0.6, right now we're 4 times that amount of inventory. Buyers have so many more options out there. Sellers are having to compete with the other people that are selling the houses in the same neighborhood. So things have definitely changed, but in regards to flat out, prices coming down X amount of percent and things like that, we have a very long way to go. Due to the new election now, a lot of real estate articles that I've been reading, people are very optimistic about the future of real estate. So one of the chief economists for the National Association of Realtors is expecting a 10% boost of existing home sales in 2025 and 2026, and new home sales, meaning new construction, will grow about 11% next year and 8% in 2026. Now they're saying that the median sales price should only be rising by about 2%. Now, these chief economists, obviously they're great, but like I said, things are very hyper local. My wife and I, we just closed on our house on November 8th. It appraised for $65,000 above the purchase price that we got it for. Right now, we're going to be going through renovation, and after renovation is done, we should easily, and I'm very modest with my numbers, have $120,000 in equity, if not more, and that's not including our down payment. The reason I'm telling you this is because, like I've always said before, if you're wanting a good deal, if you don't want to wait for the potential prices to come down 15, 20 plus percent, you can find a good deal out there. The house that we bought was on the market. They ended up doing a big price drop. And like I preach to all of you, I do what I tell my clients and things like that, the advice that I actually give you. We were pre-approved, we were ready, and we were keeping our eye out for something that we wanted. So when it popped up, when we saw the price decrease that it had, we saw at 8 a.m. the next morning, submitted an offer by noon, and the next day we were accepted. Due to that price drop, they had multiple offers. Including our offer, we had 4 offers total. I had to go back, readjust my offer. I increased my purchase price, and I increased my due diligence money in order to get the house. But I knew what I was looking at. I knew this was a great price in a great zip code in a great neighborhood. And this isn't a one-off. I'm seeing this every couple of weeks. For example, I want to show you guys this house that's in Sardis Forest. Absolutely love this neighborhood. Great location. Super nice. 9329 Hinson Drive. This is a 1,959 square foot house, 3 bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, built in 79 for $415,000. On top of that, the seller is offering $15,000 for paint and or flooring. So essentially, you're looking at a $400,000 house with the seller credit. Now take a look at the houses, what they've sold for in the neighborhood. This next house here, 807 Odell Court, same exact square footage, same floor plan, just flipped the opposite side, under contract, and it was listed at $519,000. Another one, 705 McNabb Court, $510,000, 100 square feet smaller than this one. Granted, this one is a little bit updated. And just one more for good measure, 9151 Hinson Drive, 2,019 square feet, about 70 square feet bigger than the one that I mentioned. 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, built in 79, same exact floor plan, sold at $525,000. Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because you don't need to wait for a good deal. Get your pre-approval, pick out your areas, get a realtor, watch the market, and when something pops up, take advantage of the opportunity. All of these houses right here, congratulations to that buyer, whoever it is. Once you close, once you put in about $20,000 to $30,000 worth of work on that stuff, just some TLC and normal wear and tear items, you're going to have at least $75,000 in equity. These deals and these houses are out there. Don't get discouraged thinking that, oh my God, the real estate prices, they're so high. I can't find a deal. I'll never be able to buy a house. They are out there, guys. You just need to look. Now, before we jump into the stats, what am I personally seeing in the market? Listen, I personally, with my clients, am having very good luck. 4 out of the last 5 houses that I closed at have all appraised above the purchase price. And we've lucked out. There's only been, I think, about 2 that had multiple offer situations. So as far as that aspect goes, everything's going to vary. Do we still have a lot of multiple offers happening? Yes, 100%. Believe it or not, a lot of houses that are priced in that $1 million to $1.3 million when they're listed in places like Dilworth, Myers Park, Elizabeth, South End, people still are putting offers $100,000 plus above the asking price. This is where you need to be hyper local in certain neighborhoods. Now, for the most part, the real estate market has completely changed and people need to expect a new normal. During when the market was booming, the expectancy when someone listed their house was, hey, we're going to get 10, 20, 30 offers. We're going to get 50 plus thousand, no inspections, high due diligence fees, and things like that. Some people still think that's happening for a majority of the houses, and it is just not. The new normal now is going to be houses sitting on the market for 90 plus days. We're just getting into what was normal back in 2016, 17, and 18. It's just the altered real estate market that we had these last couple of years have just changed kind of reality for a lot of people. So sellers, if your house does not sell within 30 to 60 days, remain calm. Things are still moving. A lot more people are starting to realize that they need to list their houses a lot more realistically in order to get them sold. Unfortunately, on the other end of that spectrum, a lot of people still are just listing their houses at the absolute peak value, and that's why when you go online, you're seeing so many price decreases. You're literally seeing over 30%. Before, I believe it was 31% of houses that were listed on the market end up doing a price decrease. That number has gone way up based off what I'm personally seeing in the market. So in order to sell your house at a timely fashion in the desired time frame that you want, you're going to need to list it a lot more aggressively. Now with that stuff out of the way, let's hop into the stats so you guys have all the information that you need to make the best decision for yourself possible. Now let's start off with the new listings. In regards to new listings, we had 4,481 new listings in the month of October, and that is a 7.2% increase from this time last year. So far, year over year, the last couple of months, since actually January, we've been seeing the new listings go up. Typically, we start to see that start to go down around September, October, but now we have that uptick. There was a recent article that came out that said the magic number for interest rates is 5.5%. Meaning at 5.5%, a lot of buyers that are on the sidelines are going to be ready and willing and able to jump into the market. And on the flip side, a lot of sellers at 5.5% are a lot more willing to put their house on the market. I do still think the inventory is going to build up. We're not where we want to be now. It will, but we're just not going to have ginormous leaps. I think year over year, we're probably going to be just like it is now. 5% increase, 7% increase. And over a long period of time, we will see the inventory build up. One of the biggest factors that we essentially have not really going against, it's actually a good thing. The Charlotte market is very strong. A lot of people that are moving to Charlotte, I don't know anything about Mississippi, but I would assume Mississippi is a lot less cheaper to live than it is in Charlotte. But for example, you don't have a lot of people moving from Mississippi to Charlotte, from Nebraska to Charlotte. A lot of the people that are moving to Charlotte are coming from California, New York, New Jersey, Chicago, Florida, places where typically the real estate and the cost of living is more expensive. So with the influx of those people coming here, that is also keeping the prices relatively high. Next up is pending sales, which exploded in the month of October. There was 3,722 home sales pending. That's a 23.6% increase from this time last year. Look at the 2 years prior. Negative 39.1, negative 1.3. Now we're at positive 23.6. I think a lot of you that are watching my videos, that are subscribed, have started to understand that one of the best times to buy a home is September, October through February. And this stat is showing that a lot of people jumped into the market to take advantage of essentially the slower market with the decelerated prices. Now let's get into days on market, which came in at 41, and that is a 28.1% increase from this time last year. So houses are taking almost a third of the time longer to sell once they hit the market. You can see the 2 years prior, we also had big increases. And like I said, I think the new normal in the next 12 months or so is going to be houses are going to be sitting on the market for 90, 120 days plus. That's what we had back in 16, 17, and 18. And I can definitely see that happening in the future once our inventory starts to build up a little bit more. Just keep in mind, a lot of this stuff can change on a dime. We have no idea what's going to happen with the economy. Are they going to start printing a lot more money? The wars that are going on around the world, how is that going to affect things? So a lot of this stuff can change. Just keep that in mind. Now let's get into pricing. Average sales price in the month of October came in at $492,000. That is a 5.7% increase from this time last year. Sasha, you mentioned something, the market's getting better, the prices are getting better, your clients are able to get better deals. Yes, this is the average sales price. The highest average sales price that Charlotte has seen was this past May of 2024 at $522,000. We're currently at $492,000. So prices are down from their all-time highs, $30,000 in regards to average sales price. Let's get into median price point. Median price point is the backbone of the market. If you start to see big swings happening in the median price point going down and or up, that is going to dictate really what's happening in the market. The median price point is kind of that, middle class, first time home buyers and things like that. Median price point came in at $395,000. That's a 3.9% increase from this time last year. The highest median price point that Charlotte has ever seen was $405,000. So we're sitting at $10,000 under the highest one we've been at. With our median sales price being so stable over the last couple of years with no major swings year over year, month over month, it tells you a lot about how strong essentially the Charlotte market is. We still have the supply and demand, and right now it's kind of a teeter-totter month by month, but things are definitely still moving. Now we're going to talk about percentage of the original list price received, which this is actually a very interesting stat. It came in at 95.9, which is a minus 1.5% decrease from this time last year. This stat is telling you that on average, you can expect to pay 4.1% below the listed price of a home when you are actually closed. And this is 1.5% less than it was last year. And if you take a look at the graph, guys, we're at 2017, 2018 levels when it comes to this. This is telling you that prices are a lot more negotiable now than they have been. Now, granted, in 2023, this was down even more, but essentially, I just want you to know that things are a lot more negotiable now. Whether that be the purchase price of a house, whether that be when you get your inspection report back, negotiating repairs, negotiating concessions, and things like that. Again, there's deals out there. You just need to know where to look and be prepared when they do pop up. You know what's coming next? Last but not least, months of inventory, which came in at 2.7 months of inventory. That is a 35% increase from this time last year. Again, as we head into the winter months, people expect the inventory to go down. However, inventory is increasing, just no big dump, essentially, of inventory. I'm curious to see some of these big companies, these venture capitalists, these hedge funds. I'm curious to see if they start selling some of their real estate portfolio with the new party in office. I believe there's going to be some laws and things like that taking into effect. But I think, again, we're going to continue to see this go up. It's just at very, very small increments. So it might take us 12, 18, 24 plus months to get to where we have 4 or 5 months of inventory, which at that point is essentially a full-blown buyer's market. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Call, text, or email me if there's anything I could ever do for you, any questions, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye.